the best way of fitting that into the Western mindset is to say, look, it's not real, but it is just as important. Yeah? I'm not going to try and convince you.
Truth.
I'm not going to try and convince you of the reality of something, because then we have a reality conflict. I just want to say it is important. Yeah? And then they can say, why is it important? And then I can say, it's important because it is your inner scape. It is a way of you to perceive your own internal nature in a way that you're used to. Like, you know, I can interact with it. And not only your internal nature, but everything you perceive gets processed in the same way. It gets reprocessed and represented to you in this kind of meta landscape. And like, this is how you can get in contact with knowledge that you didn't know you had. You know, this is like how you can, it's like sight beyond sight. But it's
yes,
not,
it is.
It's not literally, it's just literally. You know, this shit's important for people to understand. And the only way they're going to get into it is something with a way that they're familiar with, that from childhood, from play, from imagination, from dreaming, all these things that they're familiar with, they're all there. It's just that we decry them as being not real and throw them out.
Yeah, we do. And it happens quite quickly as well, which is kind of sad in a way. Because, you know, I remember definitely as a kid, I don't like to call it this, it doesn't sit well with me, but the imaginary world was just as important as anything else that was going on. In fact, when I look back at that time, they were definitely one and the same a lot of the time. The distinction wasn't made yet.
Well, our daughters know the difference, usually.
They do.
But that doesn't mean that they don't do imagination a lot. And they consider it to be a big part of their life.
Yeah, because it is, and that's the way I hope it would stay, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so do I.
Because it is real.
It's real in a sense, yeah.
M's mind is very conditioned in the Western world.
I'm using language from a Western world. And he has
trouble admitting, although he has at times called himself a modern day shaman, in the fact that that part of life is just as real as anything else.
I think the problem is that the term real has too much attached to it in our Western world.
So does the term imagination.
Well, you see, this is the problem. I'm working with terms from our culture as best as I can. Now, I don't want to turn around and say that imagination is real, because I'm trying to work with terms that come from our culture.
No, you're trying to work with your own conditioning. You have to work within those boundaries.
Exactly. I have to work with the language that I'm using to express myself so that other people can understand me. I need to have those boundaries so that other people can know what the heck I might be talking about. Not necessarily what I am talking about, but what I might be talking about. I have tried to create my own words for these things, but then no one else knows what I'm talking about unless I sit down and explain what these words mean. And that's an investment for them. That takes time. So at this present time, when I'm talking to any possible person that could be listening to this, I have to use westernized cultural terms, which are not sufficient to explain the things that we're talking about now. It gets very confusing. People get very touchy about what is real and what is not real, which is why we're always having arguments, reality conflicts. And so therefore, most people would say bollocks to you if you said that imagination was real, because that's just, by definition, not what imagination is. Literally by the definition of it, almost in terms of the English language. But I would say it is a type of real. It is a level of reality